Introduction. Welcome to the United Nations Police English Language Assessment. This assessment consists of two parts, the reading comprehension and the audio comprehension. The instructions to both parts will be clearly explained before we commence. The use of any computer devices, microphones, books, external notes, or assistance from others is not permitted. We expect full compliance and good conduct during this test. Any candidates who fail to observe appropriate conduct will be excluded from the assessment process, and the incident will be communicated in writing to the authorities of the member state concerned and to the SAAT coordinator in the UN Police Division. Part 1 is the reading comprehension. You will be given a mission-related story with a question and answer sheet which contains 10 questions related to the key facts of the story. You will also be given a blank sheet of paper for your note-taking. Any notes that you take on the blank sheet you are allowed to keep throughout the exam. Read the text very carefully. You may write on the test as you wish. You will not be graded for any marking made on the test itself, only on the question and answer sheet. After reading the test, answer the 10 questions on the question and answer sheet. Be sure to include the entire key fact in your answer. It is not necessary to write in grammatically complete sentences. It is highly recommended that you use the blank sheet of paper for important notes from the reading. These notes will be essential for Part 2 of the assessment. You will be able to keep only the sheet of paper with your notes for the second part of the exam. Keep the test and question and answer sheet face down until you are asked to start. You will have 20 minutes to complete the reading comprehension. The instructor will indicate when these 20 minutes begin. The instructor will then announce when there are 5 remaining minutes and when there is 1 final minute. After the 20 minutes have passed, the instructor will collect the reading test and the question and answer sheet. You will keep the written notes that you made on the blank sheet of paper for the second part of the assessment. Please write your full name, your individual test serial number, and other details clearly in the space provided on the question and answer sheet you receive. Good luck. Introduction. This is the second section of the UNPOL Combined Language Assessment. It is divided into 2 parts. In the first part, you will hear one person describing the mission-related topic you have just read about in the reading comprehension. It will be introduced as the narrative. In the second part, you will hear a conversation between 2 people who are discussing the same mission-related topic. It will be introduced as the dialogue. Please be reminded that the use of any computer devices, microphones, books, external notes, or assistance from others is not permitted. Candidates who fail to observe appropriate conduct during this test will be excluded from the assessment process. Such actions will be duly noted and communicated in writing to the authorities of the member state concerned and to the SAAT coordinator in the UN Police Division. You will be given a report writing form and another blank sheet of paper. Take careful notes on the blank sheet of paper of both the narrative and the dialogue. Pay attention to the important facts and key information. You will hear the recording only one time. Once the narrative and dialogue are finished, you will be asked to use your notes from both the reading and the audio parts to write down your own complete police report. You will have 30 minutes to complete your police report. The instructor will indicate when these 30 minutes begin. The instructor will then announce when there are 5 minutes remaining and when there is 1 final minute. Please do not forget to write your full name, your individual test serial number, and other details clearly in the spaces provided on the report writing sheet. Good luck. Narrative.
1 July 19, 2011 at 1100 hours, a suspect wanted for the murder of Goran Brown turned himself in at the Mountain City Police Department. Detectives conducted an interview of the suspect, who admitted to the killing of Mr. Brown at 2115 hours on Thursday the 18th of July 2011. He stated his full name was Dan Green, and he was born March 15, 1991. At the time of the shooting, he was playing cards. There were 5 players, the suspect, the restaurant owner named Martin Small, the victim named Goran Brown, and 2 other men, Frederick Popovic and Stefan Lyon. Dan told everyone he was playing with his rent money because he needed to try to win extra money to pay his rent and fix his car too. He said the muffler was so loud everyone could hear him every time he drove. Goran had a very lucky day and won a lot of money, but Dan lost €900, the amount of his rent. Goran and Dan became involved in an argument because Goran won so much money. Dan became angry, and accused Goran of being a cheat. Goran hit Dan several times with his fists. Suddenly Dan pulled out a pistol. He fired 5 shots and Goran fell. He said he only meant to scare Goran into giving him back his money, but then he shot him. He said he ran out and got in his car, a green-black Volvo, which he had parked next to a house beside the restaurant. The muffler on his car made a loud noise as he started it up, and he was afraid he would be stopped by police while he was driving, so he threw the gun outside the car window and drove away from the restaurant, heading toward North Street. The gun was a Smith & Wesson .38 special revolver, serial number SW9876, belonging to his father, David Green. He stated that he took the gun without his father's knowledge.
Dialogue.
Police officer, please state your name and address. Suspect, my name is Dan Green. I live with my parents in Mountain City. Police officer, what is your age and date of birth? Suspect, I am 20 years old. I was born March 15, 1991. Police officer, what happened on July 18, 2011 at the Birds restaurant? Suspect, we were playing a game of cards in the back room. I was playing poker with the owner Martin Small, Goran, Stefan Lyon and Frederick Popovic, just the 5 of us. I told them I was playing with my rent money because I wanted to win enough to get my car fixed too. Everyone can hear me driving it because of the muffler. It is loud. Police officer, what happened next? Suspect, Goran was having a very lucky day and won a lot of money. 900 euros of that was my money, my rent amount. I got angry and accused him of cheating and he hit me several times. Then I pulled a gun. I meant to scare him into giving me my money back, but I shot him. Police officer, what else did you do? Suspect, after I shot Goran, I got scared, ran out and got in my car. It had a loud noise from the muffler like it always does when I started it. I had hoped to win enough money for repairs. Police officer, what did you do with the gun? Suspect, I threw it out of the window. I was afraid police would stop me while I was driving and find it. Police officer, where were you at when you threw it out? Suspect, next to the house beside the restaurant, where I parked my car. Police officer, how many shots did you fire? Suspect, 5, I think. Police officer, what kind of car did you drive that night? Suspect, a 1989 Volvo, green and black. Police officer, what kind of weapon did you use to shoot Goran? Suspect, a Smith & Wesson .38 Special. It belonged to my father. Police officer, what were you wearing at the time of the shooting? Suspect, blue jeans and a blue pullover. Police officer, where did you go when you left the restaurant? Suspect, I headed toward North Street and then went straight to my home. I took it without his knowledge. I knew the gun could be traced to my father and I did not want him to get in trouble, so I turned myself in. Police officer, do you have anything else to say? Suspect, no, not at this time. Police officer, this concludes the interview. Thank you for your cooperation.